A big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video.
Morning everybody, fantastic to see you all again. Oh, what a week I've had. So this is the story of just probably seeing something and wanting it, and then thinking that what you have isn't good enough, and wanting that. And I think it's a little bit about Instagram and looking at photos that people post on Instagram, and it's a story of bluebells and my love and hate with bluebells. So this week I thought I'd pack my van and go down south and shoot some bluebells. Not thinking, first of all, I probably was a little bit too late, but I'd seen these photos of these amazing bluebell forests, and what I got around here I didn't think was good enough. And anyway, set off in my van, and obviously my back told me that I was doing the wrong thing because I couldn't drive my van. So I turned round, came back home, really disappointed, fairly down to be honest. I was speaking to my wife and saying, oh, I just couldn't get down there, I was really disappointed. And then I realised that, look what I've got here. This is ridiculous, why do I need to go anywhere else? And the problem is I'd been to these woods 3 times in the last 2 weeks and I just couldn't find a really good composition. I struggled with the trees, I couldn't find anything really interesting. There's not a lot of sort of mature oak trees here, and there's a lot of sort of sycamore trees, which I never think look fantastic. But anyway, that's just rubbish. So it's now Thursday, and yesterday I thought I was going to come out and do a video and everything was going to be right. Again, it failed. I didn't really get what I wanted. We're going to get onto that and I'll show you what I did get. But yeah, I just wanted to say that this is the story of how you don't have to go further away to get something. There's always something better. You'll always see something on Instagram that's better. But the fact is, there's always something on your doorstep that you can go and shoot. And when you've got a doorstep that's as beautiful as this, then how can I ever complain? So yeah, so we'll go back to Tuesday, and I'll be in these woods when there'll be actually some sunlight as well, shooting and scouting for today. And then we'll come back here. I'm a little bit late to the game this year because of one thing or another I couldn't have got out as soon as I wanted. But I'm scouting this woodland this morning with the hope of coming back when the light's just a little bit better. I want to see where the light's coming from and see what I can find. And it may be that I don't actually get anything to shoot, but I'm going to go and scout it, see what I can find. I'll show you what I can find, and we'll come back tomorrow morning and see what we can get. I'm hoping for a bit of mist tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. And just to note as well that I've got a really long lens on at the moment, so it looks like I'm in the middle of the bluebells, but I'm on a main path going down in this direction. And you should never stand on any bluebells because they get damaged, they don't grow back, and they're an endangered species. Okay, I've found this little sort of oasis of a location. There's a river sort of babbling through behind me. And obviously you can see there's a few bluebells just here, but mostly it's wild garlic, and it goes all the way down the river. It's not quite out again, so it's early days, but it's good to do these explorations because when I come back here, I'm going to find hopefully some compositions now. When I come back, I can come and take those shots. So the plan is to sort of go up and down the river and try and find a composition. Now the light's quite harsh at the moment, so I've just got to sort of think about how the light's going to change when I might be here earlier in the morning, because that's going to have a big impact on the compositions. And I'll talk through that when I get to a shot. But yeah, I mean, this is quite nice here, and there's this little path that runs through here, which obviously, I don't think many people come down here, but there's obviously been, a few dog walkers coming down here and treaded this path, which is quite nice because it just creates this very sort of narrow path through the centre of the garlic. The smell is amazing. I need smell-o-vision because it's beautiful. So all this is going to turn into this amazing wild garlic. It's going to be covered in flowers, and you can see all the flowers are just starting to come out now. But the biggest problem that I've got is finding a composition, because it's messy. We've got a really messy woodland. So what I try and do when it's messy like this is just try and pick out something. So here we've got this bit of the river here, and then this leading line. And I'm not saying this works, but these are the types of features that I'm looking for. I'm going to keep looking. When I find something, I will definitely show you. But it is difficult. The thing is to try not and look too hard sometimes. Sometimes I find that just standing in an area where you think could be okay, and just having a look around. Don't get too embroiled in the smells and the sounds, which are quite strong here, and just try and focus on, the shapes and, what's going on in the image that you're trying to find. Beautiful, so beautiful here. Okay, so while scouting for something, I found this, which I think looks really good. I really like the branch coming down here. And you can see I'm on the path here, so I've got to sort of watch I don't include the path, I think. So I'll probably twist my camera a little bit to the left to include more on the left-hand side, but I don't want to walk into the bluebells to talk to you about this. So I've moved it a little bit to the right-hand side. But I really like these because they're all wet, they look amazing. The bluebells probably aren't perfect, but I don't think that really matters. And actually now the sun's just gone in a little bit, so I'm just going to shoot that. So I've just found a really good little composition in the river. I've just got down into the river. It's not that deep, and yeah, I'm not sure. I probably need to be a little bit further in. These logs come down. I've got a little bit of ivy on, and I want to sort of show that off. So I've done a 70mm shot from where you are now, and then I'm going to get a little bit further in the river and try and shoot a little bit closer to these logs. And the bluebells and wild garlic here are just so amazing, and when the wild garlic comes fully out, this just could be spectacular. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. What's not to like? Birds and water. The two nicest sounds on the planet, I think. Okay, it's about 5 hours after sunrise now, and as you can see, there's still some amazing light behind me, and the reason that is that the sun rose over there and has come up this sort of bankside, and it's now just hitting these bluebells behind me. So these bluebells, apart from the temperature of the sun, are still getting this raking low light because the sun's come up over and then shining down the side of this bank. And I think that's something to think about if you're on undulating land like this. If everything's flat, then yeah, you need to be there at sunrise. But if it's like this, then there's lots of compositions as the sun gets into different positions, and it lights the bluebells, it lights the wild garlic, and just the lay of the land a little bit differently. And you've still got to find good compositions, but what it means is you've got a chance to keep shooting for hours. You don't think that you've just got to be there for the morning. But so I'm going to shoot this handheld hopefully get something good. There's just a nice little composition I can see there. And then I will walk just a little bit further down the stream. I think there might be a shot of the stream that I'm going to take. Again, I'm shooting some of these things just in preparation for when I come back, when the wild garlic's a little bit stronger, because that's the shot that I want to get. This is so magical. So we're back to Thursday now, and yeah, so what I'd hoped for this morning was a little bit of rain. I don't think it really matters, but having wet branches and wet leaves can really help, because you've got that choice then of whether to just remove that wetness and just create some saturation with the polarizing filter, or just leave it and use some of that reflection to look pretty good. It saturates everything, just makes the colours a little bit better, and also could have produced a little bit of atmosphere as well, but I didn't, so it doesn't matter. So one of the things that on those photos that I took that I feel that I didn't embrace enough is these trees. There's a lot of these sycamore trees. I feel more positive. I'm gonna go back into the river and see if I can get a bit of a closer up. I've got my wellies on. I'm going to go really close to that log and see if I can get some of the detail, because I think there's some really nice ivy on it. Feel good. So one of the things that I thought when I was looking at that shot that I took yesterday was that it'd look a little bit better if I got closer to this log. So I just wanted to go and have a look at that now. It's really deep here, so I have to be a bit careful, even though my wellies on. But I'm just going to get my camera out and just see without going too deep. It is really deep. So, I mean, I think if I was up there, it might work. I think that would probably look quite good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get up there though. That's the problem. Let's have a look. See, I can't really walk through here because I don't want to stand on the wild garlic. And this is probably a shot that it will look better when all the wild garlic comes out, because the banks are laden with wild garlic, and that's not quite out yet. But yeah, I'll see if I can get my camera up there and we'll see what we can do. It's amazing what an attitude can do. I just feel like I've found more things, and just, the conditions aren't any better, arguably worse. But yeah, so I found what I've been looking for is detail on the trunks, because there's ivy growing on some of the trunks, and then I'm going to try and highlight that detail in my shots, because I feel that the trunks of the trees are really important, and then I'm just trying to find trees that sort of work well together. Now I found this really tall beech tree, I think it is, and so yeah, you can see this big beech tree here, and it's got a little bit of ivy on it just on the side. It'd be nice if it had a bit of ivy on this bit, but it doesn't. But this tree here has some nice ivy on it, and then we go right through to this tree in the background, which is really nice. It's a really nice detail. And then we've got the wild garlic, and then the bluebells in the background, so it sort of tells a story really nicely. This wild garlic's come out a lot more than the other, because I think this is more in the sun. But when this comes out fully and it's just laden with wild garlic here, it will look really, really good. So make sure you watch out on my Instagram. I'll put a link here if you're not following me, and I'll post in my stories. I'll come back here because this is really close to home, and I'll take a shot when the wild garlic's out of the same scene. Right, so I've got my 24 to 70mm lens on. I am focusing about here, and I'm shooting at f11, and I think that'll get far enough to get to that tree, but it might just drop the bluebells off just a little bit soft in the background, which is what I want. and I've got a polarizing filter on, which is about 3/4 polarized, just to, well, you can see if I just show you the difference a polarizing filter makes. So that's unpolarized, that's polarized, so not a lot of difference. Right, where next? So I found something here which may or may not work, but I thought I'd show you. So there's just down here, there's a tree here, which if I just show you on this image that I've got, then you can see that here I've got just this tree trunk, and I feel that the leaves here are just catching the light really nicely. And then there's also a payoff because there's more bluebells right down in the valley, and these bluebells here I think just anchor the scene quite nice at the bottom left. And then we've got this tree, this little sapling on the right hand side. So I think it's quite nice, really. It's nothing amazing, but again, it's just those details, just picking things out that you might just walk straight past and just not think anything of. So peaceful. It's so peaceful. I love it so much. Apart from those noisy things. Oh, what a week. Hope you've enjoyed that. So yeah, it was a real lesson to me this week that you don't need to go and chase what seems to be perfection and have that blinkered view of what a shot might be. And you know, look at it around here. I've got this amazing woodland. Why do I need to go anywhere else? And I think sometimes Instagram can create this need in us to try and produce this sort of perfect shot, and that's not great for creativity. We don't want to do that. You know, we want to be able to just, you know, develop things that are unique and different. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I still don't think I've got the shot that's great here. The conditions haven't been perfect, but I do know there's an amazing shot to be had in these woodlands, and it's a question of just keep coming back to them, and they're really close to where I live, so that is so fantastic. Anyway, I wanted to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. They really helped me with my journey of creating a website and sharing my images, selling my book and my prints. And if you're looking to build your own website, you don't have a lot of technical knowledge, then Squarespace is a really good platform to go to. All you need to do is go to squarespace.com. There's lots of templates there to go and try. And if you're ready to go forward with your website, you can get 10% off by going to squarespace.com/Nigel. Hopefully I'll share some of the photos that I've not showed in this video on a blog as well, so if I do, there'll be a link in the description. That's it for this week, and yeah, I'll leave you with a video that was the tour that never happened, and just to show you some of the amazing weather that I had. It's beautiful here. Actually, there might be a composition down there.